Hey, Kylene, I don't feel so good. My heart is beating really fast.
I know what you mean. I'm like really short of breath and I've got a dry mouth and my palm's really sweaty.
Oh no, I think we've got a really bad case of nerves. It's about time we do a podcast episode about nerves. Welcome to the Singable podcast. My name is Noomi and Kylene.
And I'm Kylene Skyback, and this is part of the Singable Toolbox.
Today, we'll be talking about nerves and how to deal with them so that you can perform with confidence. Let's go.
Singable Toolbox!
Kylene, tell me, when were you the most nervous in your whole life?
Oh, it was horrible. I was in New York. I was in a chorus of singers and we went off with just all the girls. So it was all the sopranos and altos, and there weren't many of us. There was only like 10 of us and that were there that day and working together and doing a little recording. And this amazing coach who was a Met opera singer, like from the Met in New York, she said, let's do this on our own. And she went around and got all of us to sing individually on our own, and it slowly crept towards me. And I was so nervous by the time it got to me. I've never been that nervous in all my life because all these amazing singers had just gone before me. I'm like, I'm hopeless. It was just, I've never been that nervous. Yeah.
Wow.
And I mean, that's so sad because they were lovely and they were encouraging and wonderful. I put the pressure on myself, and it was a rehearsal. It wasn't even a performance. But yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's the worst when you know that people are listening that are just so much better than you and you just feel like, oh, I don't deserve to be here. You just get so much imposter syndrome. So yeah,
Yes,
I guess
yes,
that's
totally.
awful. Oh.
Totally.
But how did it go?
At first in front of them I sounded terrible, and we all kind of just acknowledged it that, oh, of course you're nervous, and that's, we all feel nervous, and they were very nice. And then I was able to just let it go and had another go that was much better. But I mean, I just beat myself up because I wasn't at my best. Had too high an expectation of doing something on the spot and just built it up too much in my brain. We often build things up too much, and make a bigger deal of it than it was.
Definitely.
I'm sure it was actually fine. And they all said it was, so it's like, oh, yeah.
And probably everyone else was nervous too.
Oh, they were, totally. But what about you? Have you had a moment that you've remembered where you were really nervous?
I think for me, my worst time was when I played the cello at my grandfather's funeral, because then I was like, I loved him so much and I wanted to just do my very best. And I was 13 at the time and I was so nervous, but I managed to play it. I couldn't see my sheet music because my tears were running. But yeah, I think always funerals and weddings are the worst for me, because then you really want to get it right, especially weddings, because you don't want to ruin their special day,
Oh, yeah, you put so much pressure on yourself, right?
Yeah. But hey, Kylene, what are nerves? Like, what's actually happening when we become nervous about performance and stuff? What's going on?
Well, it's actually a natural body response. It's actually our adrenal glands in our bodies release cortisol and adrenaline and essentially release these hormones that then go into our bloodstream and sabotage our bodies.
Yeah.
So, for instance, that short, sharp breathing. It's horrible. It literally works exactly against what we're trying to achieve, which is a nice relaxed demeanor where we can breathe easily and to take nice deep breaths and be calm and supportive breaths. But instead it's shallow chest breathing because the adrenaline is going into fight or flight.
Yeah.
And so it's sending you into that state in the body that you're dealing with something that's not normal, that's nerve-wracking, that's stressful. And so it takes over our responses, our sweaty hands happen, we get dry mouth is a huge one. It's just a normal body response to being under stress.
Yeah, but it's so crazy. It's like the same response as being chased by a gunman or something.
It is.
So crazy. Poor us when that happens. It's horrible.
And obviously this is like this is an effect of what we build up in our mind, and we often view things in a way that this is a negative thing, I'm going to mess up, this is going to be bad. And it shows us that we've instead of viewing performing, singing as a sharing experience, as a positive experience, over time we've learnt to be overly competitive about it.
Yeah.
And also, I think so.
Yeah.
And also we see all these amazing performers all the time on television and on, we hear all these amazing, often heavily produced and engineered recordings of
They
people
don't
singing.
sound like that for real. Yeah.
No. How many takes are there in one good, even Adele song or Beyonce or Mariah, any of the huge artists? How many different takes have gone into that one song?
Yeah.
Billie Eilish, I heard some talking about her, so many different, like they did, we did 48 takes or something of that one section. And it's like, there you go.
Yeah, and you don't get 48 attempts when it's live. You just get one.
That's it.
So, that's crazy. But I think also, like, all of these shows like American Idol and stuff like that has ruined singing a little bit. Because all of a sudden people think that, okay, every time I open my mouth, I am being judged. And if I don't do well enough, I'm a bad person and I don't deserve to live. Whereas, like, it couldn't be further from the truth. Like, it's so nice. If you want to sing and share that with someone, that's like a really good thing.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what's led to a lot more people having stage fright.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is the idea of you can't even step on a stage. You can't even give a talk. You can't even be seen in front of a group of people. And some performers get it partway through their career as well. Yeah, it's really sad that then often people are afraid to even do anything because, I can't be as good as them, which takes away the joy of singing.
That just made me think of that it doesn't happen only to amateurs, but it happens to professional people as well, both musicians and other people. I was thinking of Simone Biles, the Olympic gymnast who actually had to drop out of the Olympics because even though she was like the best in the world at what she's doing, her doubts started to like freak her out so much that she couldn't go out and do what she does.
The enemy doubt.
So, I mean, if that can happen to someone it can happen to anyone. It doesn't mean that you're not good at what you're doing.
Oh, man, I've said that for years to different performers, that doubts are the enemy of a performer. We can't afford to have them. It's that self-talk that's negative as opposed to self-talk that's positive, which we really want to engage in. Speaking of which, how can we stop nerves? Have you got some advice for us, Noomi?
I think many people make the mistake of trying to stop the nerves when they are at the venue, like about to go up on stage. But I think the process should start a lot earlier than that in the practice room. Because if you have practiced your song 200,000 times and you know the lyrics and you know exactly where to place different notes and how to phrase it and everything, dynamics, if you know exactly how to do it and you can imitate that 100 times, then you know that you'll do it pretty well when the time comes for you to perform.
Absolutely.
So I would say that's like step one, definitely. And really try to practice it as if you were in the room. Pretend that you have an audience in front of you. How are you going to move? What are you going to do? How are you going to hold your microphone? Take a remote control for a microphone if you don't have one.
Yes, practice that.
And just try to practice it. Yeah.
Yes.
I think that helps a lot because most of the time when I notice that people around me are very nervous, it's because they're not as prepared as they should be.
Yes.
They feel like they don't really know the material that well. And that's just setting yourself up for failure, or at least setting yourself up for nerves.
It's so true.
Practice. How about you, Kylene? Do you have any good advice?
I thoroughly agree with what you just said about practice. There's a famous quote by Julie Andrews, I believe it's her, that amateurs will rehearse enough to get it right, but professionals rehearse enough to not get it wrong.
Yeah.
Double negative. So basically, if you are professional, you will rehearse so much that it's impossible to mess up. And that's essentially what professionals do. Why does Hugh Jackman and people like him, like so like Ariana Grande just recently is talking about how to go to a vocal coach, you know, to be able to do her latest role. Totally changed the way she sang for that role. And that's what happens. They go to a vocal coach, they work with a vocal coach, they get the advice they need to be able to then practice within an inch of their life, so that when they go out on stage, whenever they're in front of a camera, whenever they're under pressure, they know they can do it.
Yeah.
So I thoroughly agree with you that if you want to get rid of nerves, the absolute key, like you said, is in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
To practice.
And I'm just thinking that if you go to a vocal coach and you get all the kinds of advice you need for that specific song, then you go home, you practice a lot, and then you come back and the vocal coach can tell you, hey, you did so great, this is awesome, you can definitely go on stage and perform.
Don't you love that?
And that will also boost your confidence a lot. So definitely getting some help is never a bad idea.
Don't you love that when you have a student who goes away and takes your advice and works on a song and they come back and you're like, oh, I got goosebumps.
Yes.
Like that was
it's lovely.
fabulous. Look at you with that smile.
But it is a nice feeling.
It's really joyful.
And especially to see them feel that confident, like, yeah, I can do this. I'd love to have that feeling on a bottle. It would be great.
Yeah, we could just have a little bit of every day, all day.
Yeah, just a teaspoon of confidence. That would be nice.
So, Noomi, I want to ask you as well. You've talked a little bit to me about a lesson on visualization. You're going to put that up on the Singable Toolbox later on. But can you tell us, what is visualization? What is this concept?
So it's all about visualizing what everything will be like and also what it will be like after you've done this. So it's something that athletes use all the time.
Oh, yes.
And I believe also like professional musicians will do this, where they just go into their mind palace like they're Sherlock Holmes or something, and they really think about, okay, so I'm there, people are cheering, I did it, and then they can really feel like all these positive emotions, like I can do this, and it makes such a big difference. Like there are mental coaches that work with athletes to only do this because it makes such an impact on their performance when they do their sports. So it's something that we can do as well, and I think it goes hand in hand with preparation too. You can use this all the way through your practice sessions and really like imagine that you're there. And I think it also helps to be able to maybe either visit the place you're going to sing in or see pictures, just so that you can really visualize it and see yourself there. The more things, the more you will know about the place you'll be performing at, the less nervous you will be, because I think it's all these like uncertainties that make us anxious as well. Like, oh, I don't know, like where's the microphone gonna be? Will I be able to hear myself? How can I see the audience? How many will there be? All of those factors can cause us anxiety if we don't know them. So just find out as much as you can.
I love that. You are on the other side of the world in Sweden. I'm here in Australia, and I view things exactly the same way as you.
Great minds think alike.
Well, I'd like to think so. But I have had this struggle with working with some people who were working with amateur singers who were good, who they wanted to use in recordings, who I was trying to explain, you have to expose them to the recording booth. You have to get them used to this environment. And also working with sets and working with actors on new sets and that sort of thing. You have to get exposed to your environment to be able to feel comfortable within it. It can't be new on the day, or the nervousness is just going to go through the roof.
Exactly. I think it's the same for anything, like for job interviews. It's nice to go to the place and just like see how long it takes you to go there, and all of these things. Like preparation is key for many things in life, not just singing. So you can use these tips for most important things that you do and that might cause you anxiety.
I knew you were a singing coach, Noomi, but I didn't know you're a life coach.
Well,
I'm loving it.
I do a little bit of everything.
It's so true. This is great advice. I also got a tip once from, if anybody happens to know them, it was one of the members of Things of Stone and Wood, which were a very popular band in Australia back in, look, we're talking 25 years ago. But one of the performers, who was a multi-instrumentalist, who was fantastic, he said, not to ever apologize. And he was really big on this. And I think he also may have lectured a little bit in performing as well in music. And he was like, don't apologize for your performance, especially not midway through any performance. Even if you mess up a little, have some issues, do not apologize.
Yes.
Because you're not there to apologize. You're there to perform and give something good to the audience.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad sometimes when, it's like 2 seconds that we mess up, but what the other 3.5 minutes of the song were fantastic. Who cares about the 2 seconds?
I know, but the thing is, and I'm like that, I will only remember the 2 seconds after. So I'm really trying to work on that with myself, that most people would probably not even notice.
Yeah.
And as you said, we can help them to not notice by not apologizing and also not making faces or just giving away any clues that something happened, and maybe they won't even notice.
That's true. I like what you said. We can help the audience to not even notice.
Exactly.
Just keep focused on your objective, focused on telling the story, singing the song, and sticking with what you've practiced.
Yeah. But I think also something that can help us not to feel nervous is to just acknowledge that actually the chances of us doing a 100% perfect performance is probably 0.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't happen. So something is not going to be perfect.
Yep.
And we don't know how bad it will be, but something is going to, so it's fine. It's not going to be perfect, so just accept that.
Yeah.
And then maybe you won't be as nervous before because you already know something is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. I like that. And also, it's like if you enjoy it, the audience enjoys it. That's the other thing.
Yeah.
If you can enjoy the moment.
Try to just have a cozy time with the audience, yeah.
Yeah, we don't get up and sing because we want to torture ourselves. We get up and sing because we actually enjoy singing.
Yeah.
We enjoy the process.
But speaking of torturing, I think you said you had a student who threw up before a performance, right?
I've had quite a few.
Oh, really?
Sorry.
No.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
and that's again, it's a natural body response to being stressed out, nervous, really nervous. And I've had some who I've just said, you need to go for a run, like before you perform, you need to go get the adrenaline out. And they come back and they feel fantastic. And they're like,
Interesting.
So much better. They just have such a build-up of adrenaline.
Huh.
And the ones who have thrown up before a performance got it together. Thankfully, it was early enough that they could get it together and get centered again and then focus on just performing again.
Wow.
So, yeah, talk about brave.
Exactly. I'm so impressed by people who do that. I don't know if I would. I don't know if I have the mental capacity to.
Getting back to what you said, though, about practice, I do think, though, that if you are better practiced, then that's less likely to happen.
Yeah.
And it's very encouraging that people like Adele talk openly about, I'm so nervous. I'm just so nervous tonight. Like she'll say quite often. I mean, that's apologising.
It is, yeah.
But she can get away with it.
Everyone knows she's a pro already, so it's not like they're gonna judge her and be like, nah, she can't sing.
Yeah, it's true. And she's amazing. It's a kindness to our audience to acknowledge that they're there to see you do well, basically. And yeah, it's very humble of her and we love that. But I mean, we've all got self-doubts, but it's not the time to be going through them. And if we view singing as a beautiful gift and something positive in our life, that others, the audience, they want us to do well, remembering that's really powerful.
Yeah.
That they want us to do well. They're on our side. It's not a competition. So if we're singing for friends at a wedding, at a karaoke night, I've got a student who's singing it's literally a special karaoke night. But she's got a bit of a singing past and she wants to do really well, and I'm like, yeah, I know she's going to enjoy it because she's got the right attitude. It's a gift, like, because she's very talented as a singer. She's got a beautiful voice. So this is going to be a great gift she can give everyone, and everyone's going to go wild when they hear her. So.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah. No, I was just thinking also with like saying that you're nervous to the audience can also backfire on you a little bit, because then how will people view that performance, or how will they listen to it? They will hear every single little tremble in your voice if you're scared, and they will just notice it a lot more and maybe even pity you. And it's like, who gets on stage just to be pitied? Like, there's no point in that. So it's probably good to just pretend that you are confident, and then maybe you will feel it too, and people will sense it as
That's
well.
so true. I've seen people get up and they're not in the right key. And they've sung the whole song, but they had a great time up there.
Yeah.
And the audience like, yeah. They loved it because they saw that the performer enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
You see that with some comedians that get up and sing a song. It's like they're a terrible singer, technically.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, because they have a great time and it's cute and you enjoy it. Yeah. So yeah, it's about keeping a positive attitude.
And I guess it also has to do with how seriously we take ourselves. Maybe we just need to realize that we're not perfect and nobody expects us to be perfect. And if we can laugh at ourselves when stuff go wrong, then I mean, that's life.
Yes.
I was shopping for like home decor once, and I saw like a tea light holder that I thought was very inspirational. That's that I've always thought about after. It's so cheesy, but it said, "Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn." And I was like, this is a weird place to get motivational quotes, but I like it because it's so true. Sometimes everything goes according to plan, and when it doesn't, that's a learning opportunity. And if we view things like that, we can't fail. And that's really powerful. So thank you, tea light holder.
Thank you, tea
like
light
it.
in the middle of a home decor
Yeah.
shop. Fabulous.
Yeah, you changed my life.
It's so true. It's so true. Like you remember what you did wrong and you learn from it and you grow from it.
And I heard another quote that was, the more ashamed you are, the more you are learning. I thought it was so good. It was like from, like, you know, we have a Swedish version of the Great British Bake Off. It was like the presenter that said that because someone was like, my cake is horrible. I'm so ashamed. And she was like, the more ashamed you are, the more you're learning. And it's so true.
Well, you're not going to make that mistake again,
Exactly,
are you? That's the point, right?
Next cake's going to be better.
It's true. And, you know, it's funny. Like I was thinking of a performance I did when I was younger where I didn't look after my voice before I sang. And I had terrible vocal fry in the middle of it. And it's because I didn't warm up properly. Never have I ever done that again. And that was like
you learned,
25 years ago. It's true.
So it was worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you learn, and I've never made the same mistake. Always make sure I'm warmed up. Always take care of my voice. Yeah, that was a really bad cake.
Yeah. But hey, I'm wondering, what do you do before a performance? I know you've mentioned you have like a nice relaxing warm-up routine that you do. Tell us about it.
Yeah, just as a summary of what to do before you perform to get in the right zone and make sure that you are doing everything to eliminate the nerves. Like you said, number one, practice. Making sure I've practiced enough is huge. And I know what I'm doing. I know my songs. I know my notes. And then I can feel confident going in there. I know how to sing the song. If it's a hard song, or a special event, I'm going to work with a vocal coach like yourself, Noomi, and get your advice on, okay, how should I do this? And should I change this a little bit? You know, find the vocal pathway to take for a song that best suits your voice.
It's nice to get someone else's perspective. It doesn't matter how good singers we are. We all need help sometimes.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And I think something that you've talked about, performing in front of others, like it's the same thing as I was working with a vocal coach, but a vocal coach can give you specialist advice on what to do. But once you've got that down, performing in front of others is great. So cats, dogs, couple of friends, husbands, housemates.
Cats don't give that much feedback,
Sometimes you get sick of the feedback.
but they do like listening to me singing. No, but I think it's nice also because when we're working with a vocal coach, they will hear everything we're doing and they will know what little tweaks we can do and stuff. But when we're just singing for our friends, they will just say, "Hey, it sounds great," and they will hopefully not, be able to pinpoint all those little details that might not be perfect. They will just see the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So I think that's nice too, to just get some support.
That actually makes me think about how on the Singable Toolbox in February, when it launches, there'll be a special area where you can do that exact thing, to have a performance platform that's positive.
Oh, it's going to be great.
But that's specifically positive. So you get some specific feedback on what you're doing well. So did you want to tell us about it, Noomi? Like, what's on there?
Sure. So we call it the Confidence Corner. And this is a place where members can upload either video or audio of them singing. And then other members can write helpful comments, positive comments about what they especially liked with your singing. And they're not allowed to write anything negative. So it all goes through us. So if there is a troll or something, it won't get through. So you will only get positive feedback.
You won't even know about it.
Exactly. You will never know. But I'm confident all of our members will be very nice people.
Absolutely.
But this will be an awesome opportunity for everyone to just hear what people have to say about their songs and just get that confidence boost. So I'm really looking forward to this feature. I think it will make a big difference for a lot of people. And you'll be able to do it twice per month.
Amazing.
So you can get that constant positive feedback in addition to the feedback you'll get from me and Kylene on other files as well.
So it's actually going to be really fun. And yeah, so positive and encouraging in that we get to listen and when people send in out videos to us, the 2 songs twice a month that they can send in, either a video or audio if they prefer. But we prefer video because we like to see what's going on.
Yes. But some people are shy.
And we understand that.
Yeah.
So when they send that in for feedback from us, then we're going to tell them what they're doing well. And we're also going to give tips on how to make things sound even better, what things to work on to improve or extend their voice. And, that's what we're here for. That's what vocal coaches do. But it's really lovely to have that performance platform, that area where, especially for people that have never performed in front of someone before, you can do a couple of takes. You don't have to send the first video you do in. You can do 2, 3, 4 takes.
Exactly, yeah.
But it doesn't have to be perfect. And people are going to be focusing on what you're doing well so that you can get that positive feedback. So it's so encouraging.
And also, if you have a song that you're working on and you really want to improve, you can upload it several times and then you can get feedback. Maybe people hear, oh, actually last time this was even better than the last time, or they can give you specific things that they can hear that you've improved. And that will be also very encouraging, I think.
Yeah. But getting back to a routine of what you would do to combat nerves and to work against that kind of performance anxiety, I would say after you've practiced and got everything down pat, maybe you've gotten some really good feedback from your dog, your cat, more importantly, from Confidence Corner. Then when it comes to the day of performing, to start by doing something very relaxing, maybe follow along with one of our body warm-ups and then also our vocal warm-ups that we'll be having as lessons that you can do on Singable. So follow along with them and really take the time to relax, do your full vocal warm-up. And then you had a really good tip that I liked that you mentioned to me, you've mentioned to me before, about turning the negative into positive.
Yes, so I was watching a YouTube video from a therapist, and she was saying that when you're nervous, most people, their instinct is to just feel like, okay, I need to calm down, and they're breathing and they're like, calm down. But what we want to do instead is to transform the nerves into excitement, because the response in the body is much more similar than that of like just being calm as if you're sleeping or relaxing. So if we can turn the nerves into excitement and just feel like, hey, okay, I feel my heart beating, I'm sweating a little bit, but that's because I'm so excited. I've been working for this. I've been looking forward to this day when I'm going to perform this song. I'm ready. Let's go. And it can make a really big difference. So try that next time. And apparently it can also help to calm panic attacks. I haven't tried, but if it helps someone, that would be great.
Hey, again, Life coach Noomi, I'm just saying. I love it. Turn it into a positive. So it's that self-talk that, you know, and it's interesting that, and if we could just address the elephant in the room really briefly, you're from Sweden, I'm from Australia, and we both have something very similar in our cultures. Yours is called Jantelagen.
Jantelagen, yeah.
Mine's called the tall poppy syndrome.
Yes, I suffer from this.
Yep. Really quickly, in Australia, tall poppy syndrome is pulling other people down who might be doing well at something. And sometimes and this is what I think is closer to Jantelagen, we pull ourselves down before we even get to pop up.
You don't want to stand out. You don't want people to think that, oh, she thinks she's quite something, you know. Yeah, it can be hard. And it's interesting because I think it's mostly something that goes on inside of us. Because I've got it a lot with myself. I'm like, no, I don't want to, like, I don't want people to think that I'm taking too much space, you know. But I never think about that, like, when it comes to other people. So it's very interesting. But yeah, it hurts your self-esteem a little bit. So it's something to work on, for sure. Not to think that you're the best and everyone else isn't worth anything. That's not it, but we're just to view ourselves as equals.
Yes, exactly. And I love what you said about like having that realistic expectation of yourself, especially when, you know, you're performing something. It's not going to be perfect. How often is it absolutely perfect? That doesn't happen. So being realistic and just being happy with, you know, how much work you've done to that point, doing the self-talk that, you know, this is going to be good and it is going to be positive and someone's going to really enjoy this out there. And your audience are on your side. They want you to do well, like, ultimately. And if there's a couple of people that like pulling down tall poppies in that audience, they're not the one whose opinions you care about anyway. Let them go. Let them go. But yeah, we want each other to do well. So keeping that positive attitude and, you know, singing is therapy.
Yes.
This
feels like therapy
love
too.
It. Well, I've had life coach Noomi with me today. It's been fantastic. So, but yeah, keep positive about it. Self-talk in a positive way and enjoy it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, definitely.
That's why we all have this amazing ability. It's there to be enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Noomi, this has been so nice.
I know. I can't wait for the membership though. Like, it's going to make such a big difference for many singers, I think. Yeah, we can all grow our confidence together.
And it's nice how, from our collective experience as well, this is something that we know we would have loved when we started out. And
that's the thing.
And even though we're partway through our singing journey, we're going to enjoy so much being a part of and being able to share the positive environment of the Singable Toolbox and what that entails. And hopefully people out there are enjoying the podcast, and we'll be able to tune in 2 more weeks when we have another podcast as well coming up, which will be great.
And then we will be talking about how the voice works and how you can train it. So that's going to be a bit more technical, but also very helpful in your singing routine.
I'm geeking out already. There'll be a lot of geek and a lot of fun.
For sure.
So, Noomi, this was fantastic. It was a really nice catch-up that we had, and I hope everyone listening at home also enjoyed it, learning a little bit more about how they can approach nervousness and be more confident with their performing in general. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Ooh, 2 weeks' time.
See you soon.
See you then.
Singable Toolbox.